Hello there, I'm Baya, and welcome to Kohana. This is a visual novel, and I was caught while the last bits of sunlight vanished deep into the tall trees, and reminded me of how long I'd been lost in the forest. I glanced at the crying girl sitting beside me. I patted her head. There, stop crying, Iroha. When Komainu comes, we can finally go home. Ren, what will happen to us? I'm scared. It's getting dark. What if an evil yokai comes and eats us? Calm down, Iroha. I'll stay with you. Nothing bad will happen. I'm sure of it. I was freaking out as well, especially as a human in a yokai forest. But I needed to be strong for her. Is that true? You'll stay with me? Of course. I'll stay with you forever because we're friends. Friends? I nodded my head. Yes, and as your friend, I'll stay and protect you. As I bragged, I saw a sparkle in Iroha's eyes. She wiped the tears from her red cheeks and pointed one of her little fingers towards me. Father told me that humans use pinky promises to keep their word. So, pinky promise? I looked at her little finger and, without hesitating, I linked mine with hers. I promise that I'll always stay with you, Iroha. That's what I told her, right? I promised. But why did it turn out this way? Komainu! I can feel my back hitting the rough asphalt road as a large shadow yokai with the shape of a fox bounced on me from the darkness. Air squeezes out of my chest as the shadow presses against me. My shoulder throbs from the stab of its sharp claws. Its white, knife-sharp fangs in front of my face threaten to rip out my neck. Ren! Behind the yokai, Komainu starts casting his flame. Before it can burn me, I gather all of my strength to kick the shadow and run from it. A second later, the shadow lets out a painful screech when Komainu's flame burns it. I sit on the ground, watching from safe distance as Komainu chases after the yokai. I lay down as I catch my breath. My eyes sting and I feel hot from the smoke of Komainu's flames. I sigh in relief when, soon after, Komainu manages to push back the yokai as it retreats to the darkness of the night. Nice work, Komainu. I praise the dog-shaped yokai that approaches me. He looks displeased. Are you okay, Ren? I still have your head over your shoulder. Very funny. Come on, get up. Komainu helps me get on my feet, then circles me and starts sniffing, looking for any injuries. Satisfied, he stops as he determines that the worst of my injuries are scratches on my right hand and neck. I look at my surroundings, hoping there aren't any heavy damages from the light. Luckily, only some vases broke and some plants burned. We have to clean up this mess before the store opens tomorrow. Good thing you didn't burn anything to ashes this time. Yep, expect the tales of that cursed fox. My heart skips a beat when Komainu mentions the fox. Yes, let's get inside before anyone sees us. Tomorrow I'll ask Azuki Arai to help me clean this mess. I'm exhausted now. I walk to the sliding door entrance of the store, which is also my home. But Komainu doesn't follow me. Komainu, are you coming? It was them who attacked you, you know that, right? Huh? Don't pretend to be stupid. You know the foxes attack you, Ren. What are you trying to say? I'm saying that you shouldn't protect your enemy. I know I hate the foxes as much as you do. Why would I protect them? If that were true, we wouldn't be in this much trouble. I pursed my lips. Not this again. I hastily slide open the door, but Komainu's mouth is faster than my hands. Are you by any chance still thinking about her? You are. Despite knowing her family and what they've done, even now she still occupies your mind. I bite my lip and clench my fist. I'm tired, Kamainu. I don't want to talk about this right now. What's the point of protecting your enemy? I can never understand humans. She is not an enemy! I snap at Kamainu speaks of her. I look him in the eyes and meet his judging gaze. He waits for me to give him a proper answer about her. I try to stand firm and keep my composure before him. But my heart and mind are clashing right now. She's my friend. Was. She and her clan tried to kill you just now. Or did you already forget? I clench my fist, but nothing comes out of my mouth. I can't think of anything to counter his statement. We look at each other in silence before Komainu sighs and raises his head up to the moon. This talk is going nowhere. I'll stand guard tonight in case they attack again. Go and get some rest, Bren. And take care of your hand. You're going to need it tomorrow. And with that, he jumps to the highest point of the store, where he can get the best view of the surroundings. Oh, and I want to remind you, wherever you lie or hide something, you have a habit of averting your eyes. Try not to do so next time. And then he returns to his task to guard this place. I hate it when I can't counter his words. Gritting my teeth, I remember I'll have a busy day tomorrow. I drag my heavy feet inside the store and try to bury my anger. Welcome to Kohana. How may I help you? Kohana. An old confection store I inherited from my late parents. All four of us lived here years ago, but now it's just me and Komainu. I was born here, but Komainu's lived here even longer. Ever since I was little, yokai have always visited for confections. Even though I'm a human, I have no problem seeing or interacting with them. Some of them look scary, but once you get to know them, they're not that different from our human customers. And just like humans, some of them like to poke their noses into other people's business. Young master, what happened to you? What's that wound? One of our yokai regulars points out the wound on my hand. Meanwhile, others are busy chatting while browsing our confections. Oh, this is nothing, just a clumsy accident in the kitchen. Oh my, how many times is that now? You should be more careful. It's nothing serious, don't worry. So, which one would it be to... It's the store, right? The one that they mentioned? I can smell that wicked fox here. Which one? That one. The half human, half yokai that stings the most. Ugh. Oh god, this particular group of yokai are regulars who somehow enjoy gossiping about what happens in their neighborhood. They're not evil, but they can be annoying on some days. Unfortunately for me, they're talking about things I don't want to hear right now. Ahem. May I take your order? Young master, it's just... People said the store had a different scent this morning. They also talked about the problematic Hanyo that always makes a scene in the neighborhood. I stay silent, knowing where this conversation will lead. It's them, right? The ones who cursed this place and... One of the yokai sniffs my wounded hand, completely ignoring how uncomfortable that makes me. I can smell that fox from your wound. Young master, is it true that it was the foxes who murdered your parents? My throat constricts as my breath becomes heavy. Fists clench. I try to hold myself together and not make a scene. But it's so hard. Why would they remind me about... Alright, you guys have been dolling here too long. Go home. We have lots of work to do. And there's a rakugan that you ordered. Now, go. Shoo. The gossiping yokai are annoyed, but I don't care. I don't want to waste my time with them anymore. Are you okay, Ren? Thanks, you came at just the right time. Don't sweat it. After closing the store, Azuki Rai helps clean up while I prepare some red beans in the kitchen for a new batch of anko. While washing the raw beans in a bowl of water, I look at the calendar on the wall. October 28th. That day is close. You handled your work pretty well today, Ren. Well, I had some help. It's almost a day, isn't it? Kamaino's gaze also falls on the calendar. I nod. It's been 5 years, and I think it's finally time for us to make a decision. My hands freeze. My eyes are glued to the red beans under the water. What decision? Ren, don't make this difficult. I promised your parents to protect your life and this store. That's why we need to do something before it gets worse. I wipe my hands with a towel and unintentionally throw it too hard from the anger building up inside me. Look at me, Komainu. I'm still alive, breathing, and well. We're doing fine. You're being paranoid. Fine. For now. The foxes are threats, Ren. They're cowards, but once they are set on something, they will do everything in their power to get it. Those wounds on your hand and neck are proof that they won't stop until you die. I clench my fist, frustrated that I can't say anything in return. Komainu is right. The foxes constantly attack us, but they're getting more frequent and desperate these days. I've respected your wish to act passively to their attacks because you care about that Hanyu girl, but this won't work anymore. The anniversary of your parents' death is in 2 days, and I will only stay until then. If those foxes attack us after that, it'll be the end of them. Oh, I think okay, if it's in 2 days, then it's on the 30th. That's today. You can't do that. I failed to protect your parents 5 years ago. I will not make the same mistake again. I care about you, Ren. I know very well you've been through the death of your parents. I don't want your efforts in reopening this store to be in vain. The fire of Kameinu's mane glows dangerously, as if reflecting the anger and guilt inside his heart. He turns around and leaves. I try to sleep, but Kameinu's warning rings inside my head, and I can't put my mind at ease. I stare at the last quarter moon outside. The autumn wind feels cold and crisp, but I need it to clear my mind. If Komainu said that he's going to end the foxes, then it will happen. I shudder at the possibility of bloodshed in my neighborhood. Fights between yokai are not uncommon, and things can get pretty ugly, but I don't know. I guess it's naive of me to think that we can get along with the foxes. Maybe because things were peaceful in the past few years, like back then. Phew! Made it here. It's done. Whoa, Ren! Your manju is so pretty! It looks just like your father's. Thanks, yours is pretty too. Your manju looks so smooth and round. I had to do it numerous times, but I did well on your first try. The fox-eared little girl grinned and nodded her head. Pink tinted her cheeks. I couldn't help but think that she was cute when I looked at her. Father always told me to be careful around the yokai, but I liked being around the Iroha. Her smile always brightened my mood after a tiring day of training. But I feel that your confections are different from mine or uncle's. I don't know, they feel warm and I can sense your kindness and passion in them. Really? But do you like it? I love it. I think your confections are the best. Then I'll work hard so I can keep making confections for you. Oh. I smile at those sweet memories. I think that was the first time I decided to really pursue this job. Making confections, so I could keep making them for Iroha. My childhood with her was fun. Iroha frequently visited and we played around the neighborhood without any worries. She was like the little sister I never had. I wonder, since when did all wall separating our lives exist? We used to be together whenever we went, but one day I noticed that the gleam in her eyes dimmed. Eventually, we stopped talking to each other. I remember how those yokai talked about her, how they despised her for being a half, and how she brought trouble in the neighborhood. Well, screw them. They don't know a thing about Iroha and the hardships she faces with the foxes. I believe her. I want to. I believe she's not a bad person, and that she has reasons behind her actions, and I wanted to hear them from her. Before everything gets worse, I have to do something. I need to talk to her. The kitchen is empty. I take out just enough ingredients to make a few pieces of confection. Stare at them for a moment, pondering about which confection I should make. A long time ago, Iroha told me that the Okora down the street from the store is hers, and if I put on an offering there, she'll come to me. Silly me, I'm not even sure if that method still works, but I don't know any other ways to contact her, and if I don't talk to her now, things will go downhill very fast. If I can prevent bloodshed between Komainu and Iroha, I'll do everything I can. I close my eyes and think about what would be appropriate for this confection. Something that can rekindle a broken relationship, that reminds Iroha of her childhood memories. Yeah, definitely Sakura Mochi. Was the first wagashi we made together. I regularly made it for her when we were children. I hope with this, Iroha will remember our good times together. It's done. Confection filled with my hope and our memories. I hope she'll accept this. How many years has it been since I last came to this place? This Hokora belongs to Iroha. It's neglected, and the rain and dark surroundings don't make the eerie atmosphere any better. People rarely walk down the street, so this Hokora never has any offerings. That's why the foxes thought it was suitable for Iroha. I was angry when I first heard that, but Iroha never complained. And now, this is my first offering after many years. I wonder how Iroha will react when she comes. Put the confection on the Hokora altar and pray, hoping she'll answer my call. The cold wind snaps me out of my daze. I'm not sure how long I've been waiting for Iroha while sheltered under these trees. It must be past midnight now. I'm stupid for thinking she'd come immediately after all these years, but I can't afford to miss my chance. If the foxes are going to attack again after the anniversary of my parents' death, I have to warn Iroha about Komainu. That sound. Iroha? From the darkness, a short-haired girl emerges. Even though it's covered by a mask, I know that small face and black hair very well. I run to her, anxious yet excited to see my old friend after so many years have passed. Iroha, I thought you wouldn't come. Why? Huh? Why did you come here with that thing? After all these years? She turns it to the confection on the Hokora's altar. She doesn't sound happy that I called her with it. Iroha, please listen. I just want to tell you that I know that you're the one who sent the yokai to attack us. But I refuse to believe that. I know that you're being used by the foxes. You're not like them. You're different. I know that. Please, Iroha, stay away from the foxes. Komainu told me that if they attack us again, he'll end you for good this time. I can never let that happen. That's why he called you here today. Iroha remains quiet. I bite my lip as my anxiety starts to creep up. I brought you Sakuramochi as an offering in the hopes that it'll bring the good memories back that we shared as children. You've always been an important part of my life, Iroha. And seeing you like this, being used by the foxes but for their own gain, and even being put in danger, I can't stand it. Iroha looks down, the darkness of the night covering her mask. I take a few steps towards her. Iroha? I step back and feel my cheek stinging. Blood drips down my face. I touch my cheek in disbelief. Iroha, why? She scowls with anger and resentment. What do you want, Ren? Bringing me that confection and forcing me to see you after you abandoned me for 5 years? What do you really want? I just want to remind you. What? That you had a wonderful childhood and want to rub it in my face? That poor Iroha got into trouble because of her evil clan? Just tell me what you want and get your ass out of here. Iroha, I just want to help you. Who? So, only now you care about me, huh? My instincts tell me to take a few steps back from Iroha. From her feet, a black fox-shaped shadow emerges. It's the shadow that attacked us the night before. So it's true that Iroha is behind us. Damn it! Let me tell you something, Ren. I hate you. The naive young master of Kohana, not Konoha, Kohana, who only sees the good in the world just because we spent some time together. You know what's best for me? How easy it is for you to tell me to abandon my family and save my own tail. That's not what I... Then why do you have to remind me of our past? I'm no longer that weak child. That Iroha is long gone. Someone like you who has everything couldn't possibly understand how I feel. My place is with the foxes. Don't ever show your face here again. The fox-shaped shadow covers her body and disappears into the night. My fist clenches and nails stabbing into my flesh. I'm left alone in the darkness with a gaping hole in my heart. I have everything, you say. You... Nothing about me either. Today's monaka is really good. Yeah, Mom's monaka is the best. Even Dad can't make one as tasty as hers. I remember that beautiful afternoon we sat on the porch while munching on some fresh monaka. Iroha visited after my confection lesson with father. Oh, nice! Your mother is so kind and makes delicious confections too. I wonder if my mother would be as kind as her if she were here. Huh? What do you mean? Where did she go? My father told me that she passed away soon after I was born. Oh, I'm sorry. It's alright. I don't know much about her. I stopped asking father about her because it made him sad. But we have her picture at home and she's really pretty. I want to see it too. Can we go to your house? I don't think my family would like that. They don't like humans. Even though he's kind, they're even mean to my father because he's a human. I don't want them to hurt you too, Ren. I'm sorry. I remembered when father warned me to be careful around yokai, especially Iroha's family. We have a complicated relationship with the foxes, he said. At the time, I didn't really understand what he meant. It's okay, don't worry about it. But are they mean to you too? Iroha didn't answer me right away. Her once cheerful face turned sad and sullen. I've heard my great-grandfather say that family's everything, but he also told me that my blood's tainted and I'm a disgrace to the family. Your blood is tainted? What does that mean? I don't know. But my family doesn't like me because of it. Sometimes they say mean things to me or turn into monsters to make me cry. I don't like them. Iroha's eyes welled up with tears. I didn't know what to say. My parents scolded me at times, but they were never mean. They were kind and loving and supported me whenever I needed help. The foxes might be Iroha's family, but it was wrong of them to make her cry. I patted Iroha's head. I didn't know how else to cheer her up. I don't understand what they did, but you're the nicest girl I've ever met, Iroha. Whenever you're sad, come here. I'll cheer you up and we'll play together until you laugh again. She lifted her head and laughed at my response. The only people who are kind to me are my father and your family, Kohana. But I especially like you, Ren. You're the kindest. Ah, Komainu is kind too. Don't tell him this, but I think his face is scary. This is bad. What do I do? I look at the batch of confections I just made. They are a disaster. Azuki Arai will laugh at me if they see them. I thought keeping busy with work would take my mind off yesterday, from Komainu's warning to Iroha, but it isn't working. What else can I do to stop them from hurting each other? I'm just a human in the middle of affairs between yokai. Can I actually do anything? Iroha. Her name slips out of my mouth and I'm flooded with guilt. I wasn't there when she needed me. I abandoned her for 5 years. I can't deny that. What a friend I was after I promised I'd always be by her side. I bite my lip, hating myself for turning into the source of her pain. People say that confections represent their creator's heart, yet it feels pointless to convey my feelings to her. The confectionery skills I've pursued my whole life feel meaningless if they can't make her happy. I reach out to destroy the confections, but before I can do it, I hear Komainu calling me. Ren. I turn my head to the kitchen door. Komainu stands there with a solemn face. What is it? I need you to come with me. There's something I want to show you. I feel uneasy as I follow him outside the store. The street leads to Hokora. Why is he taking us here? I ask him what he wants to show me, but he doesn't answer. Does this have something to do with Iroha? Near the Hokora, Komainu stops. A figure lays on the ground. That's Iroha! I rush to Iroha, panicking as I check her condition. She's unconscious. Bites and scratches cover her body and are deep, enough that's blood dripping out of them. I look at Komainu in disbelief. Did he do this? Am I too late? Before you say anything, no, this wasn't my doing. I found her in this condition when I patrolled the area. I sigh in relief. If this was Komainu's doing, I wouldn't know how to face him. You know that fights between yokai aren't common, but looking at her wounds, I can see that whoever did this was merciless. Perhaps it's all because of the human blood in her veins. I grit my teeth, but we don't have time for that. I carefully wrap my arms around Iroha to carry her back to the store. Where do you think you're taking her? She's still breathing. But if I don't take care of her wounds, she might not make it. I'm bringing her to Kohana. You're doing to help me, Komainu. He opens his mouth to protest, shaking his head disapprovingly. I knew this would happen the moment I brought you here, Ren. I warned you that helping this Hanyo wouldn't bring us any good. It's better to leave her to her fate. I won't repeat myself. I'm taking her to the store, with or without your approval. Things have calmed down. Atsuki Arai had panicked when I brought Iroha in through the back door and caused a bit of a ruckus. Komainu brought them outside to calm down, while I tended to Iroha's wounds in one of the rooms. I've done what I can. I might call a yokai healer later, but her wounds were already healing when I cleaned them, so hopefully it won't be necessary. Iroha is still unconscious though. Ren, Azuki Rai needs you in the kitchen. You have to get back to work. Komainu enters the room. He looks at Iroha suspiciously, but doesn't try to harm her. I can't leave Iroha alone. She won't be alone. I'll look after her until she wakes up. You have the responsibility to this store and its customers. You should honor it. The store was busy when I came back and Aruki Arai can only do so much. I don't want to, but I trust you, Komainu. When she wakes up, you better not scare her. Yes. Now go make some confections. Where am I? You're finally awake. This is Kohana? So what? I'm your prisoner now? Huh? Prisoner? Your mind has been twisted by the foxes, I see. Do you think Ren would take you as a prisoner? You should watch your mouth, little girl. You're injured, and against my better judgment, he brought you here to take care of you. I expect you to thank him later, but I might be expecting too much. I don't need your help. And you don't have to pretend to be nice to me. I can feel your intent to kill me. You and your clan caused my previous master's death, and you've tried to hurt my current master. If it wasn't for his feelings for you, you'd be dead this very moment. But regardless of what I think, Ren trusts me to look after you, so you're safe with me. You're all wasting your time. I'm leaving. Ah! You haven't completely recovered yet. Moving around will only make the wounds worse. Give them a few more hours, then you'll be free to go. I don't need your kindness, just leave me alone. Why do you work so hard to push away those around you, Iroha? You, of all people, should know how much Ren cares about you, despite what your clan did to his parents and what you've done to him lately. He still thinks highly of you as his friend. If you have a single ounce of gratitude left inside of you, you should leave him alone. It's too late to take back what I've done. Everything has already happened, already set in motion. It's better to see things through to the end. You're right though, Ren should have left me there, because this won't stop my clan from attacking him and this star. Ren told me that the next time we attack, he'll end us for good. You might as well end me now, so you'll have the one less thing to worry about later. You're not making this easier for either of us, little girl. I'll tell Ren you're awake. When Kohana tells me that Iroha's awake, I drop my work to hurry to her room, but stop as I remember she'll need food to replenish her energy. I don't have a lot of food in the kitchen because it's used to make confections for the store. Fortunately, I always keep enough to make a simple rice ball, so I quickly prepare some for Iroha. I'm eager to see her, but when the rice balls are done, a realization strikes me. Yesterday, my attempt to persuade Iroha to leave the foxes failed, but I won't give up yet. She's here now, and always away from the foxes. This could be my chance to express my feelings to her. I look at my confectionery tools on the table. Confections are representations of the crafter's heart, is what my father told me. I failed to convey my feelings last time, yet confections are the one thing that's bound us together since we were children. It's an unspoken language we share, a little thing inside our hearts. Should I try to make her a confection again? One last time? She doesn't... It's a confection that I consider my specialty because I developed the recipe myself. I believe it's a sign of good omen. It's done. It might be futile, but I hope this time the feelings I've poured into the confection get through to her. When I enter the room, Iroha is sitting down and the garden outside. I'm glad to see you're up already. How are you feeling? I brought you some food. You lost a lot of blood, so I thought this would help you heal faster. It's not much, but it's something. Iroha glances at the rice balls, confection, and the tea I brought, then sighs. As I thought, my effort was futile. But then she reaches for the rice balls and starts eating. She doesn't speak as she finishes them. After sipping the green tea, she takes the confection and stares at it. This confection... this might be the first time you've seen this one. It's usaki manju, a rabbit-shaped manju filled with parmesan paste. It's a recipe I developed years ago. I hope you like it. Iroha looks at me before taking a bite. As she chews, her ears twitch a bit. Many of our customers like it, but seeing her reaction makes me nervous. It's warm and sweet. It's good. I'm glad to hear that. You know, I thought of you when I made this usagi manju. Rabbits are known to bring good fortune, so a lot of confection stores make usagi manju because it's a good omen. Like you. Me? A good omen? Yeah, the first time we met, I didn't understand what you were. You're a yokai, yet you're also human. I think you represent the best from both worlds. A warm human heart and the divine power of the yokai. You symbolize how wonderful it would be if humans and yokai could live together, hand in hand. Stop it. Huh? Are you telling me that this mixed blood in my veins is a blessing, when all it brings me is misery? I understand why you say that way, but I want you to know that I've never seen you as your lineage. You're a Hanyo, it's true, but before anything else, you're Iroha. You're yourself, with all the bad and the good inside you, and I want to be friends with you. But you must realize that even though the foxes are your family, all they've done is put you in danger. I'm worried about you. Perhaps you're right. Then I envy you, Ren. You were raised by such a wonderful family and you can only see the good in people, blind to the darkness inside of them. My childhood memories are filled with you and this place. You reminded me of that with the sakura mochi you brought me yesterday. I thought of you as my friend, and I believed that you'd keep up your promise. But apparently, you still see a half-fox like me as an enemy to your family, because 5 years ago, you left me alone. I can't reply because it's true that I left her. Ira raises her bandaged arm. I remember that the scratch there is deep. I think you know how I got these wounds. Yokai can't stand the scent of my mixed blood. They hate it. This is the price I pay for my carelessness, and this wasn't the first time. You get it, don't you, Ren? A Hanyo like me doesn't belong in this world. You casted me out of this place, a place I used to think as my home. But the foxes you hate so much took me in. I belong to them now. But Iroha, you know they made you do bad things. The foxes are using you. They've never cared about you. I hurried to cover my mouth, but it's too late. I can't take the words back. I'm sorry, I didn't mean... No need to apologize. You've let your feelings be known. Thanks for the food, but I won't thank you for helping me. I'm leaving. Iroha stands and walks towards the garden. I follow behind her. Iroha, please listen to me. Komainu, you've already said that Komainu will end my clan if we attack again. He better do his job as a guardian, because we won't stop until you die. Chills run down my spine when she gazes at me with her black eyes full of anger and resentment. The fox-shaped shadow once again rises from her feet and covers her entire body. She disappears. Tomorrow is October 30th, the day my parents passed away. I can never forget what happened. When I got home, part of the store was enveloped in black soot. The smoke smelled both bitter and sweet from sugar that burned like in the fire. Komainu didn't speak. He just stayed by my side, and as I stared at what remained of the place I called home. This is really hard to read with all the moving parts on the back. Later, in that cold room, I had to go. It smelled of chemicals. My parents' bodies laid on metal tables, covered from head to toe with white cloth. An officer called my name, gave me his condolences, and proceeded to report the cause of fire. The foxes did this, was my only thought as I walked home that night. The foxes did this. Ren, I'm sorry for appearing to you like this, but I don't know where else I can go. Ren? Leave. What do you mean, Ren? Ren! Ugh. My vision is blurry and my ears are ringing. Something wet drips down my temple. Fire surrounds me and I hear a beastly growl. When I left home tonight, I didn't think I'd see such chaos. When my vision clears, I see Komainu shielding me from an enemy's attack. He looks like he can hold up for now, but not sure how long he can keep it up. Today is October 30th, 5 years to the day since my parents passed. After closing the store early, we went to the graveyard to pay our respects. The graveyard was empty and everything was peaceful, until that fox-shaped shadow showed up at dusk. It charged at me without warning, throwing my body against the hard tombstones. Ren, are you alright? Komainu? Can you get up? You hit your head pretty hard. We need to get you out of here. Amana, watch out! Komainu! The fox-shaped shadow launches at us and hits Komainu while his guard is down. He's thrown into a tombstone, crushing it on impact. I rush to Komainu's side despite the throbbing pain in my head. He's breathing, but his eyes are closed. He's unconscious. I'm torn between anger and fear when I see the bites and claw marks on his body. This only happened because he's protecting me. The fox-shaped shadow approaches me. Its eyes glow with the intent to kill me. You demon! I understand why you attacked me at Kohana, but to attack us in a cemetery and cause this much harm to Komainu? You're out of line, Iroha. Show yourself! I know you're here, Iroha. If you want to hurt me so badly, then show yourself. Let's settle this, right here, right now. A girl wearing a fox mask appears from the fog. From behind her mask, her cold eyes pierce mine. Why, Iroha? Isn't it obvious? My clan wants me to eliminate you. Stop this madness. Can't you see that the foxes are turning us against each other? I know this isn't who you are. Silence! The fox-shaped shadow hits me with its tail, forcing the air out of my lungs. I grit my teeth and clutch my stomach. Even standing is a challenge for me. Iroha approaches me calmly, looking down at me with cold eyes. How many times must I tell you that I'm no longer the Iroha you used to know? I'm part of my clan now. I belong to the foxes. You are my friend, Iroha. You still believe that? This is who I am, Ren. A fox who's going to kill you and bring destruction to Kohana. Just like I did 5 years ago. What? What do you mean? You heard me, Ren. Iroha bends over and whispers in my ear. I'm the one who caused the death of your parents. That's not true. Why would I lie? I caused their deaths. It's the truth. Always so happy and peaceful, the residents of Kohana were so different from everyone back home. The moment I stepped out of its doors, I returned to a world full of curses and hatred. Everyone hates the Hanyo girl, and that includes you, Ren. I'll never hate you. Really? Then let me tell you a story. 5 years ago, a young fox overheard a plan to attack a certain confection store. We're going to do everything to destroy it, she heard. Of course, the stupid young fox was caught eavesdropping immediately. You think she would have said something to stop the attack? Was the confection store that she carried so deeply? Or was her haven? But instead, she cowered, mouth shut tight. She simply stood there, watching the flames devour the store and its residents into ashes. I did nothing when my clan attacked Kohana, and soon after, I heard your parents died. I could have prevented that, but I didn't. And you hate me now for letting your parents die? I'll never hate you because the one who killed my parents wasn't you nor the foxes. What? I've kept it to myself all this time, holding onto it like my life depended on it. But now it's time to let go. I'll let you know, Iroha. The fire that devoured Kohana that afternoon wasn't caused by the foxes. It was an accident. Iroha's eyes snap wide open in shock. She takes a few steps back. I'm sure she doubts me though, but the foxes did attack Kohana that night, and they destroyed a lot of the store. Yet my parents survived because Komainu protected them. But they sent him to protect me on the way home, and when we returned, the fire had already burned the store and my parents inside it. The next day, I was told that the leaking gas pipe caused the fire. Maybe the leak happened before or after the attack, but the fight between Komainu and the foxes started the fire. Once it reached the gas leak, the explosion destroyed the building and trapped my parents inside. If only the foxes didn't attack that day. If only Komainu stayed with them instead of coming to me. If only Iroha could have stopped the foxes. If only I was there. None of this would have happened. For 5 years, I kept this secret from you, so that the guilt would gnaw away at you from the inside. I channeled all my hatred and anger onto you, like the coward I am, and caused you so much pain and suffering. You're lying. I hate the foxes. Sometimes that hatred was so overwhelming that I thought of sending Komainu to kill them, not caring what they do to him. Those times I just wanted the foxes to suffer. But then I'd remember how you'd lose your family if that happened. Stop it! A strong gust of wind blows and flings me away from her. Our surroundings darken, as if a shadow blankets the sky. Is this Iroha's power? Iroha, listen to me! No, don't come near me! I struggle to take each step towards her. The powerful wind screams in my ears and whips against my body, but still, I walk. When I get close enough, the fox-shaped shadow positions itself to attack me. But before it can, I extend my hand as far as possible and snatch her face mask off. When the wind fades and the darkness dissipates, her face is revealed. She's crying. You're lying. I'm sorry for keeping the truth from you all this time and causing you so much pain. It crushed my heart every time I remembered what happened to my parents, my home, and in my selfishness I made you and Komainu suffer. I still remember that day you came to me crying, telling me you had nowhere else to go, yet I took my resentment out on you and told you to leave. When I heard that your father left you that day, I've regretted my actions ever since. When you attacked Kohana a few days ago, I knew that all of that hatred was finally being repaid to me. All of your pain and suffering was because of me, and that's why. I'm sorry. Why? Why are you apologizing? I did nothing when I heard about the attack. Your parents would still be alive if I did something. I'm the one who caused all of this. That's not true. You couldn't have known about what would happen. Please don't blame yourself, Iroha. I tried to kill you, Ren. I've hurt Komainu too. I know, but I'm willing to put everything behind us. You're important to me and I care about you, so please. I forgive you. Can you forgive me? Iroha throws herself at me, hugging me tightly while crying her heart out. Between her wails, she repeatedly cries out, I'm sorry. Tears flow from her eyes as I hug her back. I'm sorry too, I whisper. Years of hatred, sorrow, and guilt finally crumble away, like falling leaves in the autumn. This afternoon, I can breathe peacefully again. This was a pretty neat story. I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. I'm gonna link it down below so you can play for yourself if you like. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!